After racking up over 5,000 miles during the winter, our van is absolutely disgusting. So today we turn our filthy, heavily used VW Grand California from this skip on wheels to this.
This is what you're waiting for. I think we're ready to ride.
In this video, I'll be shaving the van,
I bet you didn't expect when you clicked on this video to see me shaving a bed.
fixing some squeaks,
I found it.
as well as wrapping the cupboard doors. I'll also explain how you can easily change the look of your interior by simply wrapping the cupboard doors, even if you've never done it before.
Whoa. Welcome everyone. Today is cleaning day.
It's minging.
It's
I don't
up.
even know where to start.
This is the signs of a well-used camper van. And this camper van is definitely well used.
Like, look at all of that.
That's you, that.
That's not me.
That's you.
That's your side of the bed.
No, it is
is?
actually a little bit. It is a little bit more my side of the bed, I'm not gonna lie. I suppose that's one of the downsides of doing a lot of the travelling that we do in the winter and being in the van so much.
To celebrate the launch of our Just Sloans podcast, we're offering a 20% discount off everything in our Sloans Media Travel Guides store. This discount includes our paperback guides as well as our instant guides, and the instant guides are currently available, 7 of them covering all different areas of Scotland in one bundle deal for £6. Plus your 20% discount. It's an absolute bargain. Head across to the link in the description, and like I say, be sure to check our podcast out. It's available on YouTube as a video podcast, or also on Spotify as just an audio-only podcast.
I'll tell you what's been happening, right? I'll show you the video because I videoed it this morning. I actually witnessed it happening. But look at that. My wing mirrors are just splattered.
Look at all that muck. Look at that muck. That needs to come off there.
Well, what I see when I see muck like that is I just see that Danny hasn't been doing her job.
You piss off. You make all the mess.
Loads of people ask what type of vinyl we use, and if I'm honest, we haven't necessarily got a specific brand, not by any stretch of the imagination. However, we do seem to use the same brand, but just purely because it's accessible and it's easy to get. So the stuff we use is from a company called DC Fix, and we buy it from obviously Amazon. It's available all over Amazon, and also from B&Q. I think they also sell it in like B&M and the range as well. B&Q near us have a decent range of it. It used to just be in like a plastic, like a cardboard sort of box, a bit like a poster box where the posters are kept on the end of an aisle, where now they've actually got a specific section for it. There's tons of different colours, different variations, different sizes. So this one is 67.5 centimetres. This one is 90 centimetres, both of them by 2 metres long. So you can see the size difference. The bigger one I think is £13. I think this one was £9. We have wrapped the cupboard doors I think 4 times now, and every time we've taken them off we've never had any bother at all.
So it is a little bit easier if you heat it up first. It just makes it stretch, where, like, see, at the minute when it's cold, it's just a little bit brittle.
When it comes to the tools you need, there's very little. There's 2 options to cut it. You can use scissors, but the problem I find with scissors is trying to keep a perfectly straight cut is a bit of a task. Once you get that little slip going and it goes, great. If you've got nice sharp scissors or you're particularly accurate with your scissors, go for that. For us, I use like a precision cutting knife. If you're using this, there are a couple of additional things that you are going to need. So you're going to need a ruler. I use this one because I can keep pressure on it. So I push that down, keep hold of it, and it's sloped, so I can sort of lean the knife into that a little bit. That works really well. And then also, if you can see it, I've got it on here. This is a self-healing cutting mat. This is in here one size because I use it for all sorts. You can get much smaller sizes. You're probably going to need something like this just so you're not going to carve up whatever surface you've got your vinyl sitting on. And the good thing with these, obviously, they have the grids on. It's centimetres on one side, inches on the other on this one. So measuring is a lot easier. What I'm using for the first time in this attempt of wrapping the van is this, and I'll show you what it does. I'm just going to cut a corner of this off here. Obviously you've got a nice or relatively square corner. What you do with this is you've got different radiuses, so you've got 7mm, 4mm, or 10mm. So we'll go with 7. You basically put this in so that it lines up, and it's just like a hole punch essentially. And now you've got a nice rounded edge. And there's a reason why I'm going to do this. Wrapping corners is a task. So you need to heat the vinyl up, you need to stretch it round there, and then on the back, even if it looks nice on one side, it looks awful behind it when I'm not a sort of pro at it, and you use a lot more material. And if I'm honest, I've maybe getting a few, but not loads of results that I'm happy with. So with this, what I can do is, rather than trying to wrap around the corners, the only reason I do it this way generally and try and wrap the corners normally is because otherwise you're left with like an edge, and I'll never get like a perfect cut. It doesn't look professional. Whereas you wrap the corners, at least it looks like the cabinet's meant to be that colour. What I'm hoping for with this is having them rounded edges will make it look like it's a part of a kit. It's like a template, a stencil that's being made specifically for that van. You put it on there, the edges are nice, and as long as I stick that on straight and leave a decent gap around the edges that's lined up nicely, it should be in the keyword, so remember that, it should look better. Yes, I'm happy with that. And like I said earlier, the main thing when you're doing this with that little tool is them edges just look more professional. If you're cutting square edges, it just looks like you haven't fit it properly. But if it's got a rounded edge, for some reason it just looks like it's meant to be. This wall has been awful for ages. Danny has hated it from the start. In all fairness, I didn't like it either. I never have. Really. So this is the next one to come off. This one's going to be a bit of a task though, because I've got stickers all over it. I've tucked it right in. Bit of a nightmare. Well, there we're gone. It's white. I forgot how vanilla the inside of this van is when there's no on it. It makes everything else look absolutely filthy. I'm not sure how much you can tell, but this basically doesn't sit flush. I don't know why, I don't know how, but it just doesn't. So the plan is, if I take this off, get under there, and if I fix just a small bit of wood, that hopefully stops this from going too far, then it technically can't sit inwards and it has to sit flush. That's the plan. So I'm going to take this off first and then have a look at it. So this is where your boiler is. That's what that is. It actually does seem that there was a metal catch of some sort under here which is not there anymore, and that's probably why. So that's essentially the one that that one there, it obviously came out. Everything's a bit loose, to be honest. I'm going to have to tighten some of this up. So I've just fixed this in, which now stops this from going in any further. A little bit rustic, a little bit DIY, but it's in a cupboard, no one's going to see it, and it works. So that's all the bottom cupboard doors de-wrapped. This one's been wiped down. I'm going to wipe the others down. I'm going to measure all 3 of these because these are all going to be in the wood effect. So I'm going to measure them up. Hopefully I can probably get all 3 off one strip, in which case I'm going to probably have far too much left over. So I'm going to do that now, measure, cut, And I can wrap these in here. I don't need to do them in the van and that, and just pop them back on once I'm done. These are the cupboard doors done. Well, the bottom ones anyway. The top ones I haven't even took off yet. Pretty pleased with how they come out. Again, I've went for the sort of rounded edges and leaving like a nice gap around the outside. The Grand California, one of the good things that they've done design wise in this is you can essentially just unclip the doors, and then it's a little bit fiddly, but you can unclip them and then just clip them back on, and it's easy as that. So that's that one. We're going to go the green on the tops, these on the bottom. So I'm going to put these ones back on because Danny's almost scalped a cell on one of them, and then once them are on, I'll take these 4 off, give them a wipe down, strip them off, and I'll get them wrapped in the green wrap. I'm not entirely sure that you'll be able to see them on camera, but I've got some tiny little bubbles, just a couple. I've got 3. I've tried sort of squeegeeing them out and they're not going anywhere. So what I generally try to do is, if you just put a tiny little hole in them, sometimes they'll just literally disappear by themselves, and them ones pretty much have. Yeah, they were all tiny and they've all gone straight away, so I'm happy with that. Like air bubbles, especially in matte colours like this, where it's all one and it's not textured, or it doesn't look like, it doesn't have patterns, air bubbles can be an issue. So generally speaking, that's how I deal with them. I'll just put the smallest hole as I can in. Sometimes just they'll deflate and you can thingy them out. Other times you can just heat it up. So you, again, pop that little hole in there, put a hairdryer, heat gun, that kind of thing on it. Not too hot, and you'll see it'll sort of shrink and get rid of it for you. So I've done 2. I've got 2 more to go. One of which I haven't cut it for yet because I need to cut it. It's not long enough to do in one go, so I'm going to have to do it the other way. But I want to make sure I get these done first, and then if there's any left over, I'll get that one done. These look delicious, didn't they? What's your reaction to that? Look at that.
They're the best ones that you've done so far.
Well, in all fairness, these are the first ones I've ever took me time, but that's an issue. I need to sort that out. And now that's not entirely sure how that's occurred. But it looks brand new. I think it's the best I'm capable of.
No, I think you could do even better.
No,
you always improve.
What I meant by it's the best that I do, what I meant by that was it's the best I can be asked to do. I'm happy with that. This is the happiest I've been. Whoa! This is the happiest I've been with this interior. As you can see, the gaps on either side are a little bit bigger than I would have liked, to be fair. But I'm not spending another 9 quid, 13 quid, whatever, for literally a centimetre either side, because that's all I would have gotten additional. So I'm going to go and put this in the van, see what this looks like, and then that's technically all the cupboards done. I've just got drawers and that a day after that. These little bobbles. I've got an idea. That might work. Might not, but it might. A beard trimmer. Let's see if this works. Shove back and all off. Come on, as if it's working. Babe, I'm basically a genius.
What are you doing?
Shaving the van. We're going for a Brazilian, babe.
So top tip, borrow your lass's beard trimmer when you need to shave your foot bobbles off the bottom of your bed. I bet you didn't expect when you clicked on this video to see me shaving a bed. Neither did I when I woke up this morning. What a time to be alive. Another thing that's been doing my nutting for ages, and a big source of the rattles in the Grand California, are these. So if you look, that's how much play is in these. Now I'm not entirely sure what part of it is moving, but I need to do something about it because it's got my head pickled. It's 2 days later and I'm 60 odd quid down because these hinges, I just couldn't stop the doors from rattling and squeaking. So I've had to order 2 of these little nashy plastic hinges from Camper Fantastic. Literally just 2 of them. 31 quid each, I think these were. Which is just disgusting, really. Just 2 screws, little sort of Torx bits, take them out, pull this out. And that's it, essentially. Now the moment of truth, because I didn't know if this is actually the cause of why they're just not hooping over and why they're not why they're not very secure. There we have Danny's DIY window things. And they're not really there to be like blackout, because although they'll stay on during the night, we'll also have the curtains, which are up here at the minute, slid along, so there'll be like an additional barrier. In all fairness, probably would have worked well for the winter to just create an additional barrier to stop the cold air from getting in. But it's just more for when we're sitting in here, especially in the summer. It's light nights a little bit earlier. I just don't like when people neb into the van and that, so it means we can put that there and then go on. Here she is. Here's the seamstress.
Can I see?
They're good. I'm pretty impressed. How easy with that? Let's do a demo.
How easy are they to rip off?
Well then,
They're
come on.
not the strongest. I think
Are there a far on to put on though, is it?
No.
Were they just taped on the magnets as well?
Yeah.
So in all fairness, worst case scenario, if they not end up if they end up being not quite strong enough, we can just get some stronger magnets.
No, I'm putting more
They're just
on
taped
as well.
on anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, I just fill all the little gaps with magnets as well. And do you like these as well?
Oh yeah, I do. I think they'll work quite well.
Look, just little suction things. Wait.
Not bad, eh? And like I was saying, it's not necessarily for like blackout per se, because we've got the curtains which work. It's just so when we're sitting on a night time, we can just sit there without sort of, if I'm sitting there or if we're sitting in here, we can put these blinds up. But I didn't want an outside cover. I hate that, because again, if we need to go somewhere, you're banging doors and waking other people up if there's other people there. This way, anything in the van we can control without having to get out and make a ton of noise. So,
Because someone,
what?
not naming any people,
Bin the tent that they made us put. It's, to be fair, the front window one was crap anyway, but the side ones were good, and we have lost one of them.
Yeah.
There's one there, and the magnets in them are perfect. It's great, but we've lost one, and I don't know where it is. And in all fairness, I was just going to buy another one, but she's DIY'd that. So,
do you know how expensive they are?
did you find them?
It's at least a few £100.
I thought. Well, in all fairness, though, the hinges for this, they were 30 quid each. It is the latches, and I don't know if they're going to work yet. I haven't tried them.
Yeah.
They're on, so you can film whether these are actually going to work. Please be secure.
Oh.
It's better than it was, though.
What's that noise?
No, well, it made that noise before. That's why I bought the new ones. That's what I was kind of hoping, but they were worse before.
Do you think we need some more of the little cushion things to go in between? Because quite a lot of them have come off over time.
That one's a lot more secure. It's this one.
How much did you spend on them?
Well, that one was broke anyway, and that one wasn't much better. So the probably, in all fairness, all of them are a bit. But these ones specifically get used more.
Yeah, true.
Like that one's secure, that one's not. I think it's these that are the source of most of the rattles. This cabinet in them. I found it. Ha ha ha. Ha. Eventually, after sticking stuff everywhere, I thought it was. I mean, obviously the hinges I did need to replace. To be fair, that one I did definitely smash, but I couldn't figure out what the hell was hitting. Where now, listen, and it's actually, if you've got one, it's these little sections here in between that it actually hits. That's what it's hitting. Try that.
This is what you're waiting for. I think we're ready to rock.
Well, it's taken a few more days than I expected, but the van is eventually clean and, well, we've changed a few bits, so I thought I'd show you round. So this is the sort of new colours and stuff. Looks pretty nice. The edges all work really well. So this one I still need to sort out a little bit. But all in all, they work well. These don't rattle the way they used to. I've covered this. I've also been making this. Now this is basically a sticker on some like Perspex. On the back it's raised slightly off, and I've put some LED lights down. If anyone who hasn't seen yet, we have been starting a podcast, which in all fairness I quite enjoy. So this is where the podcast itself gets filmed. I'm just sort of preparing to record another episode this morning. But this is all done. It's tidy. It's nice. The outside has also had a few changes. Nothing drastic, but we've gone for stickers. Changed them up so they're on the back. You can also still see where this bird is just absolutely, it's bullying now. Look at that. So I've got the logo there. Then if we walk around the back of the van, we have this. Now I'm not sure how many people know this because I didn't, but on Spotify, if you go on the app, when you go to search for a show, there's a little, like a camera icon. If you click on that, you can scan codes like this and it'll just load the channel, which is ideal. Obviously I've got the YouTube address on the back. I reckon we do get a decent chunk of people when you're sitting in traffic or driving who spot the YouTube logos and stuff, and I don't know whether they subscribe or just have a little nib or not, but it's worth putting them on there. But that's that really. That's the van pretty much sorted. I've made a few changes to the dog's gate just to stop the dogs from pushing it out the bottom, and for now that's it. So thanks for watching, thanks for staying tuned all the way through this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, because over 50% of you are not, and I'll see you in the next one.